Rain fell over the small Hartley house on a quiet Tuesday morning. Inside the house, the air felt heavy. Mr. Hartley sat at the table with a dull look in his eyes. Mrs. Hartley stood near the window with her hands held tight. Their daughter Vivian watched them from across the room. She felt fear rising in her chest even before a single word was spoken. Mr. Hartley finally spoke with a weak voice. "A marriage offer has been made." Vivian stood still. Her heart beat faster. Mrs. Hartley spoke next. Her voice shook. "A nobleman from the north wants a wife. He is very old. He is very sick. They say he is close to death. He is called the Duke of Rendale." Vivian felt the room spin. A dying man. A man she had never met. A man far away. Mr. Hartley looked down at the table. "We owe too much. We have no way to pay. If we refuse this offer, we lose everything. We lose our home. We lose every bit of safety we have left." Vivian looked at her parents. She saw fear on their faces. She saw guilt, too. Life had pushed them into a place with no doors and no light. Mrs. Hartley finally whispered the words that broke her own heart. "The papers are signed." Silence filled the room like thick smoke. Vivian stepped toward them. "When is the wedding?" Mr. Hartley answered without lifting his head. 3 weeks? A carriage will come for you. 3 weeks to prepare for a life she did not choose. 3 weeks to let go of hope." On the morning of her departure, Vivian hugged her mother tightly. Her mother smelled of lavender and sorrow. "You are saving us," her mother whispered. Vivian stepped into the carriage. She did not look back because she knew her strength would fall apart if she did. The ride north was long. The land grew empty and cold. Villages became rare. Fields turned to lonely hills. The sky stayed gray as if it too carried a burden. Vivian sat in silence and wondered what life waited for her at the end of this road. On the 4th day, the carriage stopped before Rendale Manor. The manor rose from the land like a giant stone shadow, tall, dark, silent. Its windows glowed with weak light, as if sunlight had long forgotten the place. A tall woman with silver hair stood at the door. Her face held no smile. "I am the Dowager Duchess," she said. "You will meet the Duke soon. Soon, not now." Vivian felt a strange chill. If the Duke was 90 years old and dying, why did he hide from his own bride? Her days in the manor passed in quiet preparation. Servants brought dresses for the wedding, beautiful dresses that felt too heavy on her body. No one spoke of the Duke. No one answered her questions. The chapel on the wedding day felt cold. Candles flickered along the walls but gave little warmth. The Dowager Duchess stood near the door with a face that revealed nothing. At the altar stood the Duke, or the man everyone claimed was the Duke. He was bent low. His shoulders were weak. His breathing sounded rough. His face was covered by a dark mask. A cane shook in his hand. Vivian walked toward him with slow steps. Her heart pounded hard. This was her husband. This was her fate. Vivian spoke her part with a trembling voice. "I will." Then the priest turned to the Duke. The chapel fell silent. Slowly the old man began to rise. His back straightened. The cane dropped to the floor. His hands lifted to the mask. In one firm motion he pulled the mask away. Vivian gasped. The man before her was young, strong, sharp eyes, dark hair. Not old, not weak, not dying. "My name is Nathaniel Bain," he said. "I am 25 years old." The truth struck the room like thunder. Vivian stared at him with shock and fear and confusion burning inside her. Her husband was not an old, dying duke. Her husband was a young man who had deceived her from the beginning. Vivian stood frozen as Nathaniel faced her without the mask. The chapel felt smaller as fear pressed against her chest. The candles shook as if the air itself had stopped moving. The Dowager Duchess watched without surprise. The priest looked ready to faint. Nothing made sense. Nothing felt safe. Nathaniel held her gaze. His voice was steady but heavy with something dark. There was no other way. Vivian found her voice after a long moment. "Why did you lie?" Nathaniel did not look away. "Because you were chosen for a reason. You had no ties to my past, You carried no link to my enemies. You were someone they would overlook. Someone safe. Safe? The word felt cold. Empty. Vivian stepped back. Her heart raced. You tricked me. You tricked my family. Nathaniel did not defend himself. His face held no pride. Only a tired truth. If I had shown myself, no one would have allowed the marriage. Not your father. Not your mother. Not my grandmother. Vivian breathed in slowly. The chapel smelled of dust and fear. What have I walked into? The ceremony ended in heavy silence. Nathaniel did not offer his hand. He did not try to touch her. He simply turned toward the door and said, one soft instruction, "Follow me." Vivian hesitated, then followed because her legs moved without thought. The Dowager Duchess walked behind them. Her face held a cold calm that Vivian could not read. The manor awaited them with long halls and high walls. It felt like a place built to keep secrets trapped inside forever. Nathaniel led her to a large room with tall windows. The room held a fire, yet still felt cold. "This will be your room," he said. "Mine is in the east wing." Vivian did not answer him. She stared at the fire, then at him. "What do you want from me?" Nathaniel stood still for a moment. Something like pain crossed his eyes. "Nothing that will harm you. That is the truth." Vivian shook her head. "Then why bring me here?" Nathaniel looked toward the window. Snow had begun to fall outside, though winter was still far away. "Because danger follows me. If anyone knew I still lived, they would seek to use you. They would use my wife to break me. So I hid. I created a man no one would question, a dying duke, an old man, a figure outside the world." Vivian felt her heart twist. Her fear mixed with something new, curiosity. "Why do they want to harm you?" Nathaniel turned back to her. His eyes held storms. "Because they believe I killed my cousin Marcus." Vivian felt the ground shift under her. "Did you?" Nathaniel did not answer. "Not yet. Rest for now," he said. "We will speak later." He left the room with quiet steps and closed the door behind him. The fire popped softly. The silence felt alive. Vivian sat on the edge of the bed. Her hands shook. Her life had changed in a single breath. She had married a man who lied to everyone. A man hunted by unseen threats. A man she did not know. A man who was 25 and strong, not 90, and weak. Night settled over the manor, but Vivian did not sleep. She walked to the window and watched snow fall over the empty land. She felt alone in a way she had never known. Alone yet trapped, bound to a stranger with shadows in his past. A soft knock sounded at her door. "May I enter?" It was the Dowager Duchess. Vivian opened the door. The older woman stepped inside with calm steps. "I know you feel lost," the Duchess said. "But you must stay brave. You are part of this house now." Vivian met her eyes. "Why did you help him lie?" The Duchess looked at the fire. "Because my grandson is alive only through that lie. Without it, he would have been taken years ago." Vivian felt heat rise in her throat. Taken by who? The Duchess sat on a chair near the fire. Marcus, or the father of Marcus. Both carried deep greed. Marcus wanted the title and the land. He wanted what Nathaniel had. Vivian stared. Nathaniel said Marcus is dead. The Duchess nodded. "And he is." Vivian asked the question again. "Did Nathaniel kill him?" The Duchess looked at her with tired eyes. Nathaniel defended himself. That is all I will say. That is all he will ever say. Vivian felt cold. "Then why hide?" the Duchess answered with a slow breath. "Because power protects the guilty. Marcus had a father with influence, a father who would never allow blame to touch his own blood. Nathaniel had no such shield. If he had stayed, he would have been ruined, or worse." Vivian sat down. She felt her heart soften, though her fear remained. "Why choose me?" The Duchess studied her. "Because you are strong. Because you see truth even in pain. Because you have a good heart. That is what Nathaniel needs." Vivian felt tears threaten, but she blinked them away. "This is not a life I wanted." The Duchess nodded. Often life does not give what is wanted, but sometimes what is given can still grow into something good. The older woman left and Vivian sat in silence. The fire crackled softly. Snow fell outside in slow, gentle waves. Her chest felt tight, yet something inside her began to shift. She wanted answers. She wanted the truth from Nathaniel, not secrets. The next morning, Vivian walked through the manor. Every hall felt long and shadowed. Every room held echoing silence. Servants moved with quiet steps and lowered eyes. They were loyal to Nathaniel, loyal to silence. She found Nathaniel in the study. He stood by a tall window with a worn book in his hand. He looked tired, as if he had not slept at all. Vivian stepped inside. "We need to talk." Nathaniel closed the book. "Yes, we do." Vivian faced him. "Tell me everything, without hiding, without lies." Nathaniel leaned against the desk, his shoulders lowered as if a weight pressed on him. "Very well, you deserve the truth." He spoke slowly with care. "Marcus and I grew up together. We were like brothers, but Marcus always wanted more. He wanted the title. He wanted control. He wanted what did not belong to him." Vivian listened with stillness. Nathaniel continued, "There was a woman named Cecilia. She was gentle. She was kind. Marcus wanted her. She loved me. Marcus hated that truth. He threatened her. She begged me to come home. When I reached her, she was already dying. She had fallen near the cliffs. Marcus claimed it was an accident. I knew it was not." Vivian felt her breath catch. Nathaniel looked at the window again. "When I confronted him, he attacked me. He struck first. I defended myself. He lost his balance. He fell on the very stones where Cecilia had fallen. When his father learned what happened, he called me a killer. He swore he would destroy me." Vivian felt a sharp ache inside. "So you hid?" Nathaniel nodded. "I hid because if I did not hide, I would not live. My grandmother helped me. Thomas Blackwood helped me. We made the lie of the dying Duke, a lie strong enough to protect the truth." Vivian stepped closer. "Why bring a wife into this danger?" Nathaniel looked at her with real fear in his eyes. "Because marriage protects the house. It protects the land. It creates a shield. And because my grandmother feared I would break under the weight of my past if I kept living alone in shadows." Vivian felt a tear slip down her cheek. I was not given a choice. Nathaniel saw the tear, and something changed in his face. "You are right. I wronged you, and I cannot undo that. But I will not hurt you. I will protect you, even if you hate me, even if you never trust me." Vivian turned away. She felt her heart crack open in anger and sorrow, and something soft she did not want to name. "I do not hate you. I fear you. I fear your enemies. I fear this life." Nathaniel stepped back as if her words struck him. "I will keep you safe. That I swear." Days passed. Snow thickened over the land. The manor felt calmer, yet still held secrets. Vivian saw Nathaniel only at meals. He was polite, quiet, careful. He never touched her. He never forced his presence. He let her breathe. He let her find her own place. Vivian learned small things about him. He liked quiet nights. He liked books of history. He fixed his own boots when they tore. He spoke softly to the horses. He carried guilt like a second skin. Vivian also learned about the manor. Doors that stayed locked. Rooms filled with old letters. A garden that had not seen joy in years. And a study where Nathaniel often met a man at night. A man who entered through the back door when the moon was high. One night, Vivian followed the faint sound of voices. She stopped outside the study door and listened. The unknown man spoke first. "You cannot hide much longer. People have started to ask questions." Nathaniel answered with a tired voice. "If I return, they will come for her too. I will not allow that." Vivian felt a pull in her heart. Her. He meant her. He meant Vivian. The man spoke again. "The truth will come out soon. You must be ready." Nathaniel sighed. "I know." Vivian stepped away before they saw her. Her heart pounded with fear and something else. something painful. Nathaniel was not only haunted, he was hunted. The next morning, snow fell harder. Wind howled across the land. Vivian found Nathaniel in the hall. "Your enemy will come, I heard them last night. They are closer than you think." Nathaniel did not deny it.
"Yes, they will."
"And I will face them when the time is right." Vivian startled. "How can you face them if you live as a ghost?" Nathaniel met her eyes with a new fire. "Because I am tired of running." Vivian felt her breath shake. "Then let me help you." Nathaniel froze. "No, you have been hurt enough." Vivian stepped closer. "I am your wife. My life is joined to yours. If danger comes, I do not wish to hide. I wish to stand with you." For the first time, Nathaniel looked at her not with fear or distance, but with something warm, something alive. "You have more courage than anyone I have ever known." Vivian felt her heart soften. Warmth spread through her chest. "Then let us face the truth together." And for the first time since the mask fell away in the chapel, Nathaniel smiled. A small, soft, sad smile. Together, then Vivian nodded. Together, outside, the snow fell quiet and steady. Inside the manor, two souls who began as strangers now stood side by side, bound by danger, bound by truth, and bound by a trust that had slowly begun to grow. Snow covered the land in a thick white blanket as winter settled deep around Rendale Manor. The days felt quiet, yet full of tension. Nathaniel and Vivian walked the halls together now. They spoke more. They understood each other more. Fear still lived in the walls, but something warmer began to grow between them. One morning, a rider arrived at the manor. He carried a letter sealed with dark red wax. The Dowager Duchess took the letter with a steady hand, then walked to Nathaniel and placed it in his palm. Nathaniel opened the letter with slow care. Vivian watched his face pale as he read the words. "He is coming," Nathaniel said. Vivian knew who he meant. The father of Marcus, the man with power, the man who wanted Nathaniel ruined, the man who believed Nathaniel should not walk free. Vivian felt her heart tighten. "Then we must prepare." Nathaniel looked at her with worry. "You should stay far from him. He is dangerous." Vivian lifted her chin. "I will stand beside you. I will not hide." Nathaniel felt something shift inside him. Vivian had been forced into his life, yet she now chose to remain. This choice held more power than anything he had known. 2 days later, a dark carriage rolled up the long road toward Rendale Manor. Heavy horses pulled it through the snow. The sky felt still, as if watching. When the carriage stopped, a tall man stepped out. His presence felt cold, hard, sharp like winter steel. Lord Hale had arrived. Nathaniel stood in the front hall with Vivian and the Dowager Duchess beside him. Lord Hale entered without waiting to be welcomed. His eyes locked on Nathaniel with burning anger. "So the dead boy lives," Lord Hale said. His voice held no warmth. Nathaniel did not flinch. "I live because truth protects me more than lies ever could." Lord Hale let out a harsh laugh. "You killed my son and then hid behind age and shadows." Vivian stepped forward before Nathaniel could speak. "Your son harmed Cecilia. She begged for mercy. He gave her none. Nathaniel tried to save her. That is the truth you refuse to see." Lord Hale turned to her with shock. "Who are you?" Vivian stood tall. His wife, Lord Hale, stared at her. His rage shook the air. "Your husband will pay for what he has done." Before Nathaniel could answer, another voice echoed through the hall. "No, he will not." Thomas Blackwood stepped out from a side room holding a stack of papers. His eyes held a calm fire. "We have letters from Cecilia written before her death. Letters that speak of threats from Marcus. We have witness statements. We have the truth." Lord Hale froze. His face drained of color. "Lies." Thomas held the letters out. "Read them, or face the court and the world that will soon know everything." Lord Hale knew the fight was lost. His power slipped through his fingers like cold water. He looked at Nathaniel with deep hatred, yet also fear. "This is not the end." Nathaniel stepped forward. "Yes, it is." Lord Hale left the manor with shaking anger. His carriage rolled away through the snow, carrying defeat with it. The manor felt lighter as soon as he was gone. The air felt warm again. Vivian looked at Nathaniel with relief in her eyes. "You are free." Now Nathaniel let out a soft breath that sounded like a man taking life into his lungs for the first time in years. "Yes, I am free." Vivian felt tears rise. "So what happens now?" Nathaniel stepped close to her. He reached out but stopped as if unsure. "What do you want to happen?" Vivian felt her heart open fully for the first time. "I want peace. I want life. I want a future with you, if you want that too." Nathaniel took her hands. Warm, strong, gentle hands. "I want that more than anything." He pulled her into his arms. For the first time, he held her as if he was holding a life he never thought he would have. Vivian felt safe for the first time since she entered the manor. From that moment, their life began to change. The snow melted slowly. Winter softened into spring. Light filled the house again. Nathaniel no longer walked like a hunted man. He spoke with ease. He smiled more. Vivian grew brighter too. She walked the halls with purpose. She learned the land. She spoke with the workers. The manor became a home, not a prison. The Dowager Duchess watched their bond grow with quiet joy. "You two heal each other," she often said. Vivian would blush. Nathaniel would look at his wife with soft eyes. One warm afternoon, Vivian felt strange. A softness in her body, a glow in her spirit. She went to the doctor who visited the manor often. When he spoke, she pressed her hands to her mouth as tears filled her eyes. She walked back to the manor with light steps. Nathaniel sat in the garden reading under an old oak tree. Vivian stood before him. "Nathaniel." He looked up and saw joy on her face. He rose to his feet at once. "What is it?" Vivian took his hands. "A new life grows inside me." Nathaniel stopped breathing for a moment. Then he pulled her into a tight embrace. He laughed a sound he had not made in years. He kissed her forehead with pure love. "Our child," Vivian nodded. "Our child." Joy spread through the manor like sunlight. The Dowager Duchess cried when she heard the news. Thomas Blackwood came with gifts. The workers cheered. The land felt alive. Months passed with peace and warmth. Vivian grew round and beautiful. Nathaniel stayed close to her always. He read to her. He played soft music. He spoke to the child before sleep each night. One quiet night, a gentle rain fell. Vivian felt the time had come. The house lit with soft lamps. The midwife arrived quickly. Hours passed, yet Vivian stayed strong. Nathaniel held her hand through every moment with steady faith. Near dawn, a new cry filled the room. A baby girl. Small, soft, perfect. Vivian held her close with tears of joy. "Her name will be Eleanor." Nathaniel touched the tiny hand of his daughter. "Eleanor Bain. Welcome to the world, little light." The Dowager Duchess kissed the child with a proud smile. A new start for this family. Life grew full and warm after that day. The manor changed. Laughter filled rooms that once held only silence. Nathaniel walked with Eleanor each morning across the fields. Vivian sang to her each night. Visitors came often. The land returned to life. Years passed. The wounds of the past faded into old stories. Nathaniel became known as a wise and fair leader. Vivian became loved by all who met her. Eleanor grew strong and bright with the steady love of her parents. One summer evening, Nathaniel and Vivian walked through the garden together while Eleanor chased butterflies nearby. The sun set in soft gold around them. Nathaniel looked at his wife with deep feeling. "I once feared life. I once hid from the world. But now I stand here with you and I feel only peace." Vivian smiled. "We faced everything together, and together we found joy." Nathaniel took her hand. "You saved my heart, Vivian. You saved my life." Vivian rested her head on his shoulder. "And you saved mine." The wind moved gently through the flowers. Eleanor laughed in the grass. Warm light touched the manor. Peace held the air like a blessing. Two souls once bound by fear now lived in full happiness. A forced marriage had become a true love. A dark past had become a bright future, and their story ended not in sadness, but in light.